I looked at the ketchup bottle, and it was Campbell's ketchup.
Wait, it wasn't even Heinz?
It was not Heinz. It was Campbell's ketchup.
Wow.
And apparently, Campbell's used to make ketchup.
Get out of here.
I had no idea.
The soup people.
The soup people. Hi. Welcome to the Modern Waiter Podcast. I'm Marlon Joseph, the Modern Waiter, where we discuss all things restaurant business. Learn something. Laugh at something. On today's episode, our restaurant movie series continues with 1982's Diner. But first, the intro.
Tired of working deadbeat jobs for lame pay. I'm tired of getting fired and hired the same day. If you know the rules of the game, then you'll stay.
As usual, I'm joined by my good friend, Danny DeVilla.
What's up, people?
We have done...
What number is this? 8, 9?
It might be 9.
Okay.
We love these restaurant movies.
Love them. I even found some more when I was looking online last night.
Write them down.
Yeah.
Put them on the list.
Absolutely.
And this one, it wasn't on our list.
No.
And it was suggested by...
my boy Cliff Spitz.
Okay.
A good friend of the family overall from back in the day in Virginia. Hope you're listening, Cliff. We took the idea and we watched the show.
Yes. and I've gotten, we've watched movies. Probably the number one show that we've done from guests are movies.
Yeah.
Because we'll do a movie and then somebody else suggests a movie. And we always like to shout them out on the show.
Absolutely.
And so... if you are a big contributor, we want to really celebrate you.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Cliff Spitz.
Cliff. Yeah, thank you so much. And, man, this movie has a lot of big actors in
Big.
it. I was shocked that I've
Super
never
young.
heard of it. Oh, they were super
young.
Them was babies.
Yes.
The voices were all high.
Yo.
I mean, we have Steve Guttenberg.
Police Academy, all this stuff.
Yes. And he was kind of a weird jerk in that movie. We have, what's his name?
Mickey Rourke, right?
Mickey Rourke.
Played a great part.
Bacon.
Kevin Bacon looked like a child.
Mickey Rourke's voice was all high.
Yeah.
He's got a deep, gravelly voice. It was still high. That's how young he was.
Who else was in there?
Daniel Stern.
Yeah.
But he wasn't even funny in this. I only know him to be,
Yeah.
kind of like that funny guy.
Exactly.
It was weirdly odd. Paul Reiser.
Boom.
Tim Daly and Ellen Barkin.
Ellen Barkin, who's been in a lot of stuff.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of tend to vittles in this.
Yeah. She's like a child as well.
Tend to vittles. Yeah. So we're going to go through the movie loosely. We're not doing any spoiler alerts on 1982.
No, this is 80s.
You should have seen this.
This is older than most of us.
True. And this is set in 1959.
Yes, in Baltimore.
In Baltimore.
And I even know the place. I know Fells Point. So when I saw that, I was like...
Fells Point Diner?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Just the area of Fells Point.
Yeah.
I was like, really? It takes place in Fells Point? It's like a good chill spot in the summertime for sure.
All right.
Baltimore.
Oh, yeah, so you're up from that round way.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never been there, and I really should because I'm a big crab cake fan.
Yeah, you got to go.
So I should go to
hit Inner Harbor and get in there, yeah.
I should get in there. Mm-hmm. And so the name of the movie is Diner.
Yes.
And I'll touch upon it a little bit later. What's this, a Barry Levinson movie? And it starts out at a dance.
Yes,
They're all going to a dance. And these are all early 20-somethings.
Yeah, they're young. They're probably like, max, I would say, is 23.
Yeah, I think
the
they're
max
all
age is
around
like
23.
Yeah.
They're college age.
Yeah, they're either had just finished college, or they're either half of them are going to college, a couple of them are going to grad school, so they're right at that peak, age.
And Kevin Bacon, he was like a different person.
Yo, right?
So different. It was
so different.
It was like a time capsule.
It was.
Fresh face. He was just this impulsive kid. Trust fund baby.
Yep.
And they're at a dance. The camera comes in on Paul Reiser getting into the dance, and they're doing their. It sets the tone for what style, what era.
Yeah,
this
for
is.
sure.
So it's like the late 50s, I suppose.
And I think it was what song was on? What is the Shout was on.
Okay. That's right. And Kevin Bacon is in the basement knocking windows out just because. Just because of the smiles.
Just because.
He called it the smiles.
Yeah.
It gives
puts
me
a smile on face.
Yeah, it puts a smile on my face. And Mickey Rourke, he's like, yo, come on, stop the crap.
Yeah.
And
he's kind of like the Fonz of their group.
Yes, he is. I like that reference.
Yeah.
He is the Fonz,
of their group.
So the dance breaks up. Not breaks up, but
it ends,
it ends. And so now they're deciding to go
to the diner.
They
call it the diner.
Yes,
it's their local diner. It says Fells Point Diner, but it's their diner. It's
their
spot.
diner.
Yeah.
Yes, and Kevin Bacon does a prank on him.
Yes,
he's taking the girl home, and he's speeding ahead of them. And they come around the corner, and he sees them. They see him.
Car flipped
on its side. He's on the ground, blood all over. And they come out, they're ready to call the cops.
Yeah, they think it's over. Yeah,
they think it's over for their friend, yeah. He gets up laughing, ketchup. Puts ketchup all over his face. He's like, I've been carrying this ketchup bottle for the right time for weeks. Oh, and he got him.
Got him.
Yeah, so that also sets the tone. And he's like, all right, help me flip the car because, I'm buying.
Yeah.
And let's go to the diner. So they go to the diner, and you get to feel that this diner is it's more of a backdrop than anything else.
Yes, it definitely is more of a backdrop.
It's not.
It's like their place, like their Cheers.
It's like their Cheers.
Yes,
but unlike Cheers, where everything
takes place
in Cheers, this is very much the diner is their comfort zone.
It's their safe place.
Yeah, it's their safe place. So they fall back on the diner, but this happens. This is a full movie.
Yeah.
Elsewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
The ketchup plays like 2 or 3 times. Remember, there's a scene in the diner where they have all these.
They're marrying ketchups.
They're marrying ketchups.
Yo, we had just talked about that in a different show.
Yes.
And this was like old. That was like, that's like. Marrying ketchups.
That's
bottles upside down. Exactly what Marlon had talked about on that other show. He's like, you see the layers, and you know one is older than the other.
Oh my God, yo, it's wild that we didn't just use a ketchup bottle all the way through and throw it out.
Oh yeah,
there was marrying of ketchups like a constant sideway.
Constant,
man. So I looked at the ketchup bottle. And it was Campbell's ketchup.
Wait, it wasn't even Heinz?
It was not Heinz. It was Campbell's ketchup.
Wow.
And apparently, Campbell's used to make ketchup.
Get out of here.
I had no idea. The soup people. They made ketchup as their main staple before they made soup.
No way.
So apparently, they made ketchup all the way up to 1914. So I'm not sure if that's even accurate, because I was interested and I looked it up. So let's just call it, if this piece isn't accurate as 1959 or whatever the case may be, they made ketchup up until a certain point, and then the Campbell's got a new, so to speak, CEO.
Okay.
And this CEO came from a different condensed soup company.
Oh, okay.
And then he transitioned everything into
soup.
So they stopped making ketchup. And I really wanted to go down the rabbit hole to find out, was Heinz even
was a thing back then?
Was a thing like as far as ubiquitous, or they had more competition, or something like that.
So I wonder, is Heinz? We should look it up because you see Heinz 57. Was that the year maybe they started?
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
I know people readily know that answer.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 57 times you got to tap that bottle to get that ketchup out. That's interesting. You know what? Let's pause and find out. We're back. We just looked it up. Danny, enlighten us.
So the number 57 is from the original guy, and it was his favorite number, which 5, and his wife's favorite number was 7.
Yes.
He just put the 2 numbers together. And this is in 1896.
1896? 1896? How old is Heinz ketchup?
1869 as I'm looking at the bottle right here.
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
So he wanted to have it was a marketing ploy, right?
Yeah. He said at the time, it says inspired by an advertisement he saw promoting 21 styles of shoes.
Okay.
So almost like with how we have was it Baskin Robbins?
Okay.
32 flavors.
Yes.
So same idea, and he was like, but at the time he's like, boom.
Put 57.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would have guessed that was a year or something.
Me too, yeah.
It could damn well be 1857. That's how old damn Heinz is. That's
forever.
That's forever, ever.
Ever.
So now back to the movie. Now the movie cuts in the diner a few times now.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's not just after the dance. They're now in the diner, and they're all in, suits, shirt and tie.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see them going to work. Except for Mickey Rourke, who somehow miraculously is a hairstylist. That is so random.
So random.
And they bet. He has a gambling problem. No, I wouldn't say a problem.
He does. He doesn't. He does. He is the degenerate of the group. He's trying to go to law school. Mm-hmm. He's trying to get ahead in life.
Yes.
And he keeps making bad bets.
He keep making bets, and he made bets with money he didn't have. He made a $2,000 bet, which I can only imagine in 1959.
That would be like 20 grand now.
Yes, I would say so. That's a good guess. I mean, he makes a large bet, $2,000, and he's convinced that, they're shaving points, so they're not going to win by that many
points. Yeah,
and there's a slight backdrop that's not really talked about in the movie of gangsterism.
Yes, and it's the 50s, so we're still in the midst of, it's 59 going into 60. All this, the movie takes place like around Christmas time. Mm-hmm. And not the main character, but one of the characters is getting married, so I think that's why all their friends are coming into town.
Yes,
is why they're all meeting up.
Yes, and it's the holidays.
Yes. So, anyways, yes, there's definitely an inch of gangsterism, because one of the things one of the side people in the movie says, out of respect for your father.
Yes. Yes.
I'm telling you, I canceled your bet. And he goes, no, I'll keep my bet. He was all pissed off about it, remember?
Yeah. He asked him if he wanted to cancel the bet, but he didn't. He
didn't do it yet.
He waved him off.
Yeah.
He said, don't cancel the bet. Don't worry about it. That kind of thing.
Because the guy knew
he can't lose. He goes, he certainly can lose.
He can always lose.
Yeah. So there was that gangster element with the betting and it reminded me of a lot of portrayals of restaurants with gangsters, or more of the Italian style restaurants, a little bit darker as far as not a lot of windows around. But obviously diners are a different style. Yeah. Daytime feel, or even the nighttime feel, the windows are right there.
You can always see into a diner.
You could always see into a diner.
So you can see what's going on outside of you and inside. You can see from both angles. Yeah.
Yes. A lot of men.
Yeah.
A lot of men in the diner. And they're talking about taking bets. They're betting. They're juvenilistic, with their bets. Hey, I bet you I could be with this girl,
or do this, or do that.
So they remark to Paul Reiser's character, which is Modell. This interesting guy is set to be married New Year's Eve, I think it is, or New Year's Day, soon. Yes.
Yeah, New Year's Eve. Or I think, or maybe it might even be at the changing of it. So I don't know. It's great, because I don't know if it's 59 going into 60 or if it's 60.
Okay. So he's set to be married, but he's such a football fan. He's a Baltimore Colts fan.
This is way back.
Before they moved?
Yeah. Twice.
I forgot about that. And so he wants to give his wife to be his fiancée a test.
He gives her, she has to pass a test
and
to be his wife.
Yes. If she fails his football test that he's going to administer to her, then the wedding is off. So everything's going to happen in a couple of days. And he's willing to cut it off because he's such a big football fan. So that's kind of interesting.
So, but I think and I found that this was funny. Not funny, but almost, I don't know if it was like this back then, but they didn't, it wasn't about love. They were all just trying to get laid.
They were all trying to get laid, and they alluded to that, but it was all about taking the next step.
Yes. But for them to take the next step, getting laid on a regular basis, they had to get married. Okay? And you even see that. Like, there's the relationship with the dude from Home Alone. Mm-hmm. I forgot his name, but I know you know exactly what I'm talking about.
That is...
You said the funny guy.
Yes, the funny guy. What's his name?
Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern. Good.
So... He's married to Ellen And yeah, and he even goes, they had nothing in common, but they were having sex. And that's why they got married.
They got married because, I didn't take that sex
literally
thing out of it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get that out of it. What I got out of it was he wasn't sure if he was happy or not. You know,
he didn't know that they had anything in common.
He didn't know that they had anything in common. They just kind of like, they were together.
They were together, and it was, and you know, I guess he was so wrapped up. What happened was he was so wrapped up in the physical. He's happy, you know, because he was happy. He became a man in his mind, and he's good. And,
yes.
You know, it's like, this is the one. This is my girl. I'm good.
And he found himself lost.
Yeah.
And she found herself lost as well. So it worked both ways. And their characters together started to merge later on into the movie. So we're about a quarter of the way into a almost 2-hour movie. And so Paul Reiser, he hasn't tested his wife yet.
No.
However, we now learn that Mickey Rourke loses his $2,000 bet.
Yes.
And so now he has to come up with the money because he doesn't have the money. And he bets his friends that he can get this girl to touch his thing.
Yes.
And then the guy goes, how are we going to validate? He's like, you can
come watch.
Yeah, you can come watch. So they go to the movie and he pulls the plank and she gets upset. But he pulls it up.
But he pulls it back together like a ninja, yo.
He landed that helicopter.
Yo, it was beautiful.
Yeah. Helicopter goes sideways.
Yeah.
And he lands it.
He wins the bet, okay, on a technicality, but still he wins it in my mind.
Yes.
Okay, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. And he leaves with her.
Yes.
It wasn't like she slapped him in the face.
And bounced. Yeah.
Leaves with her on good terms,
yes.
yo.
And so they refuse to pay. So he's just starting to scheme on any way that he can gain some money. Hey, ask your brother for the money, he says to Kevin Bacon, who is a trust fund baby. But it's not a ton of money. But his brother has money, but he doesn't like his brother. His brother doesn't like him. They have a contentious relationship. And so they wonder, like, oh, what are we going to do? Or we got to help him and things like that. And
in that time, before he even goes sees his brother, Kevin Bacon, I find out that he's a very intelligent person.
Yes.
Okay, they're watching like this game show, and it has like Cornell, and I forgot the other school, but you know, those are big schools.
Yes.
And they're like in like a trivia Olympics kind of thing. I forgot, the name I'm talking about. And he knows the answers like he was like
real quick.
Like he's on it, yo. Yes. And he's like learning them. I was like, yo, this kid is on point.
He is very smart, but he portrays himself to be a dummy.
Absolutely.
So he's impulsive, and so there's also a scene of him trashing the nativity scene.
Oh my God.
They all get arrested.
That was nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. So now you're coming through the movie and things are starting to happen where Paul Reiser is starting to wonder if he should even get married. We now discovered that he's a virgin.
Yeah.
And he goes to a strip club to figure out, and it's not even a strip club, honestly. It's just a burlesque show, I assume. And he's talking to one of his friends about, oh, what are we going to do? Maybe I won't get married, things like that. And they say the words, we'll always have the diner.
Yes.
And at this point in the movie,
that's almost like the theme.
That's the theme.
Yes. No matter what, between, whether what's going on in my life or my marriage or XYZ, we will always have the diner.
Yes. And at this point, right before that, I started to wonder, why the hell am I watching this movie?
Me too.
Okay?
Me too.
Because I'm like, there's no restaurant in this movie.
Besides the marrying of the ketchup.
Yeah, I know, right? Besides the name diner, why am I watching this movie?
I was thinking the same thing.
So I'm a little annoyed. I'm like, this ain't even a restaurant movie.
Yeah.
We don't even know the waitress's name.
None.
The only thing we know is Fells Point Diner. And so I'm growing a little resentful at this point. I'm like, the movie is a little slow. When I tell you it's an hour and 50 minutes, the movie is a little slow. Paul Reiser gives her the test, and he's a stickler. He is not giving her any leeway. And so the community, as far as friends, the mother's ringing, her mother's ringing, how's she doing on the test? and they're allowing this. This is so wild.
It's 140 It's 140 questions.
Was it?
Yo, on football, yo, and
it was sports in general.
Yeah, it was, but it was all directed in football. Whether it was NFL or whatever the thing. What was the leagues before the NFL? The
AFL.
AFL and yeah. So it went back so far, like, yo, these were like draft picks and stuff. Like, yo,
he did give her the answers. Like, he did give her study material.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But to think about it, yo, these kids. Half the kids, they didn't know the answer anyways.
Yeah, she was getting stuff that they didn't know, but she was getting some stuff wrong. He wouldn't give her any partial credit.
No, he was being mean.
He was being mean. It almost felt like he didn't want to get married.
You definitely had that feeling.
Yeah.
He was looking for a way out.
Yes.
And he goes, and if she can answer, but I'm like, that was extreme.
Yes. And so they, so now after she fails the test by 2 points.
She gets to 63.
He comes out and he says the marriage is off. And he's wearing a dope sweater, by the way.
Yeah.
I like that sweater. Yeah. I'll try to bring that back. And so if you're enjoying this, have any of you ever watched this movie? Let me know what your thoughts are about it. Or if you have any restaurant movie suggestions, put it in the comments. Or you can email me, themodernwaiter@gmail.com. Or follow me on Instagram. You can message me there. I'm at The Modern Waiter Podcast. So if you're listening on YouTube, give us a like. Follow us, definitely.
Absolutely.
It really helps us to grow. And so chances are we've done the movie that you've done, that you're suggesting to us, but maybe we haven't.
Yeah.
Because this is all relevant and it gives us perspective on what adaptations of restaurant movies are, and we live this, and I know some of you listeners live this as well. So put it in the comments and let us know. We are very active and we always respond. Now, I mentioned Kevin Bacon just losing it after he goes to his brother's house to help Mickey Rourke, to ask him for money. His brother refuses and says, like, have you ever read a book? Meanwhile, he's very smart. So even his brother doesn't even know the level of intelligence that he has. And so he gets drunk and he trashes the nativity scene.
He actually plays baby Jesus.
Yeah, he strips down into his white tidy whities. Oh, they were boxers?
Yeah, they were white boxers. And I'm looking at did they even have white boxers back then? But whatever.
Yeah, and he's sitting in the manger.
Yes, in the manger.
He's in the manger.
Yo, nuts. And then the boys come from the diner, and they come and help him.
Yes.
And they're like, yo.
Actually, they come from the movies.
Yeah, they were somewhere, yes.
Yeah, they were at the movies, and they got the usher, flashlight and everything, pull him out, and they try to get him, and he's like slippery. He's trashing
wily,
stuff. He's punching wise men.
Yeah, he knocked over the whole damn thing. He messed up the whole damn thing.
Yes. And so they all get arrested because of him. And everybody's parents bail him out except for his parents.
Yes.
They left him overnight. And so now it's getting time to figure out what's he going to do. Paul Reiser starts to say, hey, you know what? After going to the, out with his buddy and working it out, he decides to get married. Mm-hmm. And so what are your thoughts about the movie thus far? Because now we're almost to the end, I think. Like,
we're pretty much,
yeah.
So, like you said, as a restaurant movie, I'm like, this doesn't really make sense as a restaurant movie. But I understand it as the camaraderie of friends, and that's what the restaurant brings. Mm-hmm. Having that spot that, that you can relate to, that you feel comfortable in, that, that you're around the people that you want to be around, is what restaurants are supposed to do.
Yeah.
They give you the ability to have that watering hole or that, just that place of comfort where at least things don't change there.
Now, I agree with you. The kitchen is the center point of any home. Mm-hmm. So now a restaurant is the kitchen for many people in a community. So they gather in the kitchen, they gather at the restaurant, mm-hmm. and they work they work
out their problems in life.
They work out their problems in life, and they meet and they eat and they talk and
mm-hmm.
they gamble and they talk crap and this and that.
Yeah.
And that was the diner. And so now that his friends are trying to figure out, hey, man, what are you going to do? This $2,000. His the bookie comes to see him at his hairdressing
and he goes and he's talking to his boys. He sees his two boys. He pulls up. He goes, yo, he's in there.
Oh, no. I'm talking about when the bookie beats him up.
Oh, yes, at the job.
Yeah.
Comes to the job, says he needs the money. He goes, I need another day. and he throws a couple blows at him.
Yes.
Puts him down, and he goes, you got till tonight.
Yes. And so at the same time that this is happening, as far as Mickey Rourke is trouble. He's in trouble.
He's trying to get out of trouble.
Daniel, go ahead.
He had a side bet. Remember, he on the first bet with the girl, he doubles down.
Yes.
And gives him another bet. Like he's like
yes.
I'm gonna close.
I'm gonna have sex with her.
But only one of you can come watch.
Yes.
And it was Kevin Bacon was supposed to meet him, hide in a closet or some shit.
Correct. And Daniel Stern and his wife got in a fight.
Yeah.
And so he was the one that's trying to figure out, did I lose myself in this marriage? Mm-hmm. She feels like, what's the big deal? They got an argument about records and things like that, his record collection thing. And he goes off the deep end, and Mickey Rourke was going to go over to them.
He was borrowing money, actually.
He was going to borrow money from him. He wasn't home. He used to date his wife, so he invites her out tonight to go out, and he was going to...
Remember, she comes to the beauty salon right before he gets beat up.
That's right.
And that's how he sees her and he goes, oh.
Yes.
Because the girl that he's supposed to close with,
she got sick. Yes, that's right.
He gets a phone call
at work
after he gets beat up. So he finds out he gets beat up, and then he finds out that
he has till tonight.
Yeah, he has till tonight, and he has no more money. Like the guarantee of the bet that he was trying to close on.
Yes.
Wasn't able to close through.
And it wasn't even going to give him enough money.
No, it was only going to give him like $250, but 10%, so whatever you owed on the bet, but still something to get the guy to leave him off his back for a while. I think that's how he's trying to play it off. You know what I mean? And anyway, so he sees her and he goes, oh, remember back in the day, maybe we should go,
maybe we should hang out.
Maybe we should hang out.
And then actually, she plays into it because he was going to hang out with her at a different time, and she said tonight. Mm-hmm. So then when he picks her up, he
puts a wig on her. Makes her look blonde because the other girl was blonde.
Yes.
Just to kind of get away with the bet.
So to validate the bet, Kevin Bacon was going to be at his apartment, and he was going to be in the closet watching.
Yeah.
So him and Daniel Stern were together, and he said, oh, come on, let me go with you. He's like, oh, it's only supposed to be me.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Daniel Stern's wife is with Mickey Rourke. Coming to the apartment, and Daniel Stern goes with...
Yes.
With
they sneak into the house.
Yes.
They're hiding in the closet. They're making a bunch of fucking noise. They're not really been hiding, but...
True. And I'm thinking, is he this much of a scumbag? He's going to bang his buddy's wife? What? So he fesses up. He
gets there, though, and they see the blonde hair. They got the car. So they think everything's going down. Mm-hmm. They're in the hallway, and he's sitting there, and he goes, I can't do this. So he brings her outside. He tells her the complete truth.
Yes.
Which is, the honest thing to do or whatever. I mean, and she respects it because, obviously she was ready to cheat.
She was ready to cheat because she was hurt. She needed validation of sorts.
That she was still beautiful or whatever and all these things. She needed to feel special.
Yes.
And not just, so, and Mickey Rourke definitely had that he had that. That's why I thought it's very similar like the Fonz. He made the women feel comfortable. All of them.
Smooth operator.
Almost any woman in the movie. There was multiple women that he was talking to that he always made them, no matter if he was with them or not, he made them feel comfortable.
Yes. Smooth operator for sure. And so he confesses and she says, hey, what are you going to do about the money? He's like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. So now the movie's starting to close and still I'm wondering, why the hell am I watching this movie? So now they go to the diner.
They meet at the diner, and then Mickey Rourke had obviously dropped off his wife already. He pulls up, he sees the two of them, and they're like, oh, what are you going to do? No. He goes, yeah, I gave up on the bet. It's fine. It wasn't going to happen. And
he said, hey, don't go in there. The bookie's in there.
And he goes, he's going to find me eventually.
Yes.
So you got, but that's the way you got to live in a way.
Which was a stand-up way to do it.
That was definitely a stand-up way to do it.
He was going to face the music. The guy comes out, and then he says, man, you're lucky. You are lucky. He's like,
what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? And so the original guy...
Who told him don't take the bet.
Yes.
Pays his whole debt.
Correct.
He said his mom called him, I guess, and he says, for your father.
Yes, out of respect for your father. And
then gives him a job.
And then offers him a job to pay off the debt. And so he's like, you're wasting your time in law school anyway. And he's like, yeah. And he's in the construction business, so another illusion to gangsterism and stuff like that. And so now his debt is paid. the movie starts to close out with
the wedding. They go to the wedding.
Oh yes, they do go to the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the wedding, and that was kind of like drawn out at the end to me anyway. So because the climax had already happened.
I don't know if you noticed, but you never see the bride's face.
No, you never see the Paul Weiser, his fiance.
You never see the bride's face.
No, she's off camera.
Yeah,
she is like what's from Cheers? Norm's wife. You never see Norm's wife. You never see from Big Bang Theory Howard's mom. So he's just the voice of the character. Yeah. I wonder. I should look up who's
it's actually I checked it out. It's the sister of I think it's Barry Levinson's sister.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was some other things. I was like, man, why didn't they ever show her? I was like, I wonder who it is.
I know. I even I rewound because she threw the bouquet, but the bouquet just flies.
Yeah,
you don't really see her.
I was waiting for her to turn her face and be somebody famous that we all know.
Yes.
And we never saw it.
Nothing. So the movie closes out, and you hear them talking.
Back in the diner.
Back in the diner, you hear the ambient sound of plates and knives and drinks and stuff like that, and that was pretty cool. And so at the conclusion of any restaurant movie review, so to speak, that we do, we always rate the movie as a restaurant movie and rate the movie as a regular movie.
Yeah.
And what are your overall impressions of the movie as a regular movie?
It was a coming of age movie.
Okay.
Very similar, like a lot of the 80s movies were at the time. Mm-hmm. And as that, I gave it like a 6.5, 7.
Okay.
Just because it had slower points and stuff like that.
Yeah. It
was more acting than it was, anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is fine. And then as a restaurant movie, I only gave it a 3 because it was never in a restaurant. I mean, it was in there, but it wasn't.
Okay.
And the reason I even gave it a 3 was because, like I said earlier, it shows you the camaraderie of what the restaurant brings, of what the diner brings to the community and what it does for these kids as a community.
Did you ever have a local diner growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Now, diners aren't as prevalent down here
now,
in South Florida, now ever.
Yeah.
When I first moved here, I was like, where's the diner? You know?
Well, we had Lester's. That was our late night spot.
That was your late night spot.
Yeah. And it's a diner.
It's a diner.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there aren't a lot of... Okay, here's the thing. We might have diners here, but they don't open late.
No.
Lester's does.
Yeah, yes.
Lester's what, 24 hours?
Yeah.
But that's the only one I could think of.
And then back at home, when I was growing up in Virginia, we had a spot in Herndon. It was called, I think it was like a Silver Diner or something like that. It was a 24-hour spot.
Yeah.
Very similar, very diner-ish, windows all over. We would come home from wherever we were at 2 a.m. and be there. And I mean, not to the point where these kids are seeing the sunlight, but we would be out late.
Well, I'm not growing up, but when I moved to Buffalo, it was my coming of age, college time and things like that. And we did diners. There was multiple diners that you could go to.
I can see that in New York too, sure.
And so we would go out and then we'll hit the diner and have that sunrise experience and things like that. And man, boy, I tell you, it was, you could go there. You go there Sunday morning, it's packed because, the church crowd and things like that. So I have fond memories of diners. And unfortunately, going back, it wasn't the same feel, but maybe, it's me that changed and, I wasn't going out and having those feelings. As a restaurant, as a movie, I did think it was kind of slow, although I thought the characters were developed. You got to know who Kevin Bacon was. Who Boog was, which is Paul Reiser's character. So I like that. I like when a movie develops characters. And so as a movie, would you give it a 7?
Yeah.
I would give it a 6.5. Okay.
It's right there with me on that.
Right there with you. I mean, it's a movie that's pretty cool to see. It's definitely a time capsule in the style of movie that it is. The actors, a lot of great actors that actually, they
became good actors. At the time, they were
great
kids.
actors. Yeah, they were kids, and there was a lot of them, man. So that's some talent finding right there. Very wild. And now, as a restaurant movie, I gotta go. It's not a restaurant movie at all. So. The scene marrying catch-ups and it's a 2.
Okay, that's fair.
You know, it's a 2. You got to give the title a point.
Yeah.
You got to give the diner a couple points for being in there. I get where it's going. It was suggested to us in earnest, but it doesn't really give us any points to validate any part of the workings of a restaurant.
Absolutely.
Outside of the physical structure of it as being like, hey, this is what restaurants do for people.
Yes.
As a meeting place.
Absolutely.
I would have liked to watch it without expectations of
True.
being a restaurant movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I would have rated it,
differently.
Yeah, I think I would have rated it differently and then retrospectively said, maybe we could talk about this. Now I got my mouth all worked up for a restaurant movie, so we got to find another one.
Yes, we do.
So help us out, people. Let's do this. We do this for you each and every week. If you enjoy our show, pass it on to a friend. Tell them you listen to the Modern Waiter podcast and it was pretty cool. On whether you're listening on the audio podcast, definitely give us a review, give us 5 stars. And if it's less than that, just reach out to me and let us know how we can improve. That's the whole goal. We're building a community. We want to disseminate information and entertainment to you all. And if you're listening on YouTube, definitely help the algorithm out. Yeah. Subscribe, comment.
All the above.
It really helps us. We see a comment, lights us up, and it really helps us to figure out where to go with the show. So thank you in advance for that. And we do this for you each and every week. We've been doing this for you. This is our 5th season.
Yeah, man.
So thank you for listening and being there with us. I'm Marlon Joseph, the Modern Waiter.
I'm Danny Villain. Subscribe, people.
We will see you next time.
Later.
Never recorded. A bunch of beef footage, musical with no chorus. Created by God, starring yours truly, directed by moms. Pops the editor.